There was a director-level opening at a company, and 3 people wanted it badly. They competed aggressively, burning favors, making enemies, and forcing people to pick sides. When the promotion was finally announced, it went to someone who had never once entered the conversation, a senior manager who spent those 6 weeks staying measured and never signaling their intent. By the time leadership evaluated the field, she was the only person without friction attached to her name. Welcome to Marcus versus the Machine. Most of us were taught that workplace competition looks like force. You speak more, advocate louder, and make sure people see your ambition. But the most dangerous player in your office never enters those visible contests at all. Today, we are decoding why the person who never competes is the one you need to watch, and how they use your own ambition to outplay you. Here is the trap: open competition is a disclosure event. The moment you fight visibly for a promotion, a project, or a seat at the table, you hand every observer a map. You show them what you want, where your ego sits, what triggers you, and what makes you rush. Every public battle is an involuntary confession, and the dangerous player sits out and gets that confession for free. You think you are demonstrating strength. You are actually generating intelligence for whoever is paying attention from outside the fight. You might have a coworker who seems easygoing and not especially competitive. You relax around them, share your frustrations, and name names because they don't seem like a player. But the reason they don't seem like a player is because that is the play. The person who looks least like a threat gets the most room, and they use that room to collect information from people who have stopped filtering themselves. They know that visible desire in an office is a leash someone else gets to hold. When you go hard in a meeting, push back, and win the point, you might walk out feeling strong. But leadership just watched you create 30 minutes of tension, and your name starts showing up in hallway conversations not as impressive, but as difficult. You can win the argument and completely lose the room. Meanwhile, the person who said almost nothing, who asked one sharp question and then let the room exhaust itself, gets described afterward as measured and having good judgment. Once that label lands, they start getting pulled into the meetings before the meetings, the private calls where the real decisions happen. You built a case for yourself, but they built a contrast, and the contrast won. The dangerous player lets people tell on themselves. When a project goes sideways, they watch who rushes to assign blame before the body is cold. They learn who gets territorial, who leaks under pressure, and who falls apart without reassurance. You thought they just weren't hungry for the promotion, but you were wrong. They were hungry enough to know what hunger looks like when it is showing, and they wanted no part of that cost. Every time you rushed to correct the record or prove you mattered, you revealed something. Every time they waited, they learned something. You cannot build opposition against someone who never gives you a reason. Everyone knows how to handle the loud bully or the credit thief because those people generate their own enemies just by showing up. But the quiet player is almost impossible to counter because their gains come not from what they do, but from what everyone else does in front of them. The workplace is a contest over exposure. Your goal is to manage your visibility, protect your record, and stop giving the system free material. Stop entering every argument. Stop fighting for the last word. Not entering the wrong contest is a bigger advantage than winning it. Be human, be competent, but stop handing the room the map to your own ego. If you want to survive the unwritten rules, hit subscribe. This is Marcus versus the Machine. Stay sharp.